The year was 2257. The spaceship Horizon flew through the empty darkness of space, far from any known star. The ship was on a 5-year mission to explore new areas of space that humans had never seen before. Commander Alex Foster sat in his chair on the bridge, watching the stars on the big screen. He was a tall man with short brown hair and tired eyes. He had been in space for 3 years now. Sometimes he missed Earth with its blue skies and fresh air, but the thrill of finding new things kept him going. "Commander, I'm picking up something strange," said Olivia Matthews, the science officer. She was looking at her screen with wide eyes. "It's big, it's not natural, and it's just ahead of us." Alex stood up and walked to her station. "What do you mean, not natural?" "I mean someone built it," Olivia said. "Something intelligent." The bridge went quiet. Humans had met only 3 alien races since they started traveling in space. All were young races like humans just starting to explore beyond their home worlds. "Show me," Alex said. The main screen changed to show a massive structure floating in space. It looked like a giant ring with strange markings all over it. Parts of it glowed with faint blue light, despite having no obvious power source. That's amazing," whispered Ben Harris, the pilot. "It's bigger than anything I've ever seen." "How old is it?" Alex asked. Olivia checked her readings. "Very old. Initial scans suggest at least 50,000 years, maybe more." Alex made a quick decision. "Prepare a team for exploration. I want to see this thing up close." 6 hours later, Alex led a team of 5 people in spacesuits floating toward the giant structure. Dr. Nathan Wright, the ship's language expert, couldn't stop taking pictures with his suit camera. "Look at these symbols," Nathan said, pointing to markings on the outer ring. "They repeat in patterns. This is definitely a language." The team found an opening and carefully moved inside. The interior was even more impressive. Huge rooms connected by corridors stretched for miles. Strange. Devices sat silent, covered in dust. "This place is like a museum," Olivia said, her voice filled with wonder. "Or maybe a library." In one room, they found small crystal objects arranged in rows. Each was about the size of a human hand and glowed softly when touched. "Data storage," Nathan said, carefully picking one up. "I'm sure of it." They brought several crystals back to the Horizon. Nathan set up a system to try to read them, using the ship's computers to help decode the alien language. 3 days passed. The team continued to explore the structure while Nathan worked on the crystals. Then late one night, as most of the crew slept, Nathan burst into Alex's room. "Commander, you need to see this." His face was pale. In the ship's lab, Nathan showed Alex what he had found. The computer screen displayed strange symbols that changed into English as they watched. "The translation is rough," Nathan explained, "but I figured out enough. These crystals contain historical records of a huge civilization that called themselves the Ancients. They were a group of more than 30 different alien species that ruled most of the galaxy." "What happened to them?" Alex asked. Nathan pointed to the screen. "That's the interesting part. They were afraid of something. One specific race that they feared more than anything else." The screen showed images of a planet with blue oceans and green land. "They called it Terra Pericolosa, dangerous Earth," Nathan said quietly. "They were afraid of humans, Commander." Alex stared at the screen in shock. "But that's impossible. Humans only started space travel a few hundred years ago." "Not according to this," Nathan said. "These records say humans had spread throughout many star systems. The ancients described humans as extremely adaptable and dangerous. They say humans learned and evolved faster than any species they had ever seen. They were especially afraid of how good humans were at fighting." Alex read through the translated text. "It says here that humans could survive in places where no other species could, that we could make weapons out of almost anything, that we never gave up, even when we should." "Keep reading," Nathan said grimly. "The final records talk about a plan," Alex continued. "Something they were going to do to stop humans from spreading further. But the details are damaged. I can't see what they did." Science officer Olivia joined them, rubbing sleep from her eyes. "Could it be true?" Could humans have once been out here among the stars thousands of years ago? If we were, Alex said, then what happened to us? Why don't we remember? Their discussion was cut short by a loud alarm. Ben Harris called from the bridge. Commander, multiple ships approaching fast. They came out of nowhere. Alex and the others rushed to the bridge. On the main screen, they saw several ships of different designs surrounding the horizon. None matched any known alien ship. Are they talking? To us? Alex asked. They just started broadcasting, Ben said. But it's not in any language we know. Nathan quickly connected his translation program. Slowly, words began to form. You have awakened that which should remain dormant, a cold voice said. The quarantine must be maintained. What quarantine? Alex asked, but received no answer. Outside, the alien ships moved closer, weapons visibly charging. Send everything we've learned to Earth, Alex ordered. All the data, all the translations. Send it now. As the communication officer worked frantically to send the message, Alex looked at the alien ships on the screen. He couldn't help but wonder, were these the descendants of the ancients? And what exactly had happened between them and humans all those thousands of years ago? The truth was out there in the darkness between the stars, and it seemed that truth was about to catch up with them. On Earth, in the high-security building of the United Earth Defense Force, Director Catherine Collins sat at her desk. She was a serious woman with gray hair tied back in a tight bun. She had spent 30 years protecting Earth from threats, but nothing had prepared her for this. Play it again, she said to her computer. The screen showed the broken message from the horizon. Commander Alex Foster's face appeared, breaking up every few seconds. We found ancient aliens, called the Ancients, feared humans. Terra, periculosa, dangerous Earth. They did something to us. Ships approaching, sending all data, quarantine. Then the message ended. That was 3 days ago. No one had heard from the horizon since. Catherine called for a meeting. In the big conference room, she gathered the best minds she could find. Major William Carter was there, a tough soldier with a mind for planning battles. Next to him sat Dr. Lisa Rodriguez, who studied ancient things and alien cultures. The horizon found something important before we lost contact, Catherine told them. She showed them the message and the data that came with it. Dr. Rodriguez spent hours looking at the translated alien records. Her eyes grew wider as she read. This matches things I found on Earth, she finally said. There are strange objects in ancient places that we never understood. Stories from old times about sky people and star warriors. I always thought they were just stories. She put pictures on the big screen. Strange metal pieces found deep in the ground, too advanced to be made by ancient humans. Cave paintings, showing people flying among stars. What if humans really did travel in space thousands of years ago? Lisa asked. What if these ancients somehow sent us back to Earth and made us forget everything? Made us start over from the beginning? Major, Carter looked doubtful. That sounds crazy. Crazier than finding an ancient alien library in space? Catherine asked. Just then a young officer ran into the room. Director, our space stations are picking up something strange. Many ships are coming toward Earth, from all directions. They moved quickly to the control center. The big map of space around Earth showed dozens of dots moving toward them. They were ships of different sizes and shapes. None matched the 3 alien races humans knew. Are they talking to each other? Catherine asked. Yes, said the communication officer, but not in any language we know. The patterns suggest at least 12 different species, all responding to some kind of signal or alarm. Major Carter's face grew hard. We need to prepare. If they're hostile, we need to be ready. Our ships are no match for that many aliens, Catherine said, but we have no choice. Begin defense preparations. As Earth's small fleet of spaceships got ready for a possible fight, something strange began to happen. Deep under the ground, in places where humans had built their oldest cities, energy readings began to appear. We're getting strange energy, spikes from all over the world, a scientist reported. Under the Sahara Desert, under the ice in Antarctica, under the Pacific Ocean. "Show me," Catherine ordered. The screens showed heat and energy coming from deep underground. Something was waking up after a very long sleep. "Send teams to investigate," Catherine said. "I want to know what's happening." 24 hours later, the first team reported back from the Sahara. They had found an entrance to something huge buried in the sand. It led to rooms filled with strange machines that had started working on their own. "The writing on the walls," the team leader said, showing pictures. "It matches what the Horizon found." Similar reports came from Antarctica and the Pacific Ocean. Huge structures clearly built by advanced beings were waking up all over Earth. Dr. Rodriguez studied the pictures from all three sites. "These aren't alien buildings," she said finally. "The design is different from the ancient structure the Horizon found. I think humans built these." "Impossible," Major Carter said. "These things are at least 50,000 years old." "Exactly," Lisa nodded. "I think ancient humans built them. Before whatever happened to us. Before we were sent back to the Stone Age." Catherine looked at the growing number of alien ships on the space map. Then she looked at the pictures of the strange machines waking up on Earth. "Why are they waking up now?" she asked. "I think they were waiting," Lisa said. "Waiting for someone to find the truth. The records say the ancients did something to contain humans. Maybe these are defense systems left behind by humans who fought back. Maybe they were designed to wake up if the containment was ever discovered." "So are they meant to protect us from aliens?" Catherine asked. "Or to protect aliens from us?" No one had an answer, but as they watched, more and more systems came to life deep beneath Earth's surface. Whatever had been sleeping for 50,000 years was finally waking up, and the aliens were getting closer every hour. 3 days later, the alien ships arrived. They formed a big circle around Earth just beyond the moon. They did not attack. Instead, they sent a message. "People of Earth," the message said in perfect English. "We wish to speak with your leaders. We come to discuss matters of great importance. We offer a peaceful meeting on a neutral space station." In the Defense Force headquarters, Director Catherine Collins read the message again and again. "It could be a trap," Major Carter warned. "If they wanted to destroy us, they could have done it already," Catherine said. "Their ships are far more advanced than ours. We should meet them," Dr. Rodriguez said. "Maybe we can learn more about our past." After much discussion, Earth's leaders agreed to the meeting. Catherine would lead a small team to the meeting point, a small space station orbiting between Earth and the Moon. The next day, 3 humans, Director Collins, Major Carter, and Dr. Rodriguez, sat in a room on the space station. Across from them sat 5 very different aliens. The leader was tall and thin with blue skin and 4 arms. "I am High Observer Khalith," it said in that same perfect English. "We are the custodians, descendants of those chosen by the ancient Federation to watch over the human quarantine." "Quarantine?" Catherine asked, keeping her voice calm despite her shock. "Why would humans need to be quarantined?" Khalith's large eyes blinked slowly. "Because 50,000 years ago, your kind spread across a third of the galaxy. Unlike other species who grew up working together, humans grew through fighting and competing. This made you very good at war, very good at taking over new places." Dr. Rodriguez leaned forward. "So the ancients feared us because we were good fighters?" "They feared extinction," another alien said. This one looked like a large insect with a hard shell. "Humans adapted too quickly. They learned new technologies too fast. They survived in places where they should have died. The Federation saw only one option. The Great Containment," Khalith said. "Using technology, even the ancients did not fully understand. They moved all humans back to Earth. They created a barrier that made humans forget everything. They reset human civilization to a simple state." "You erased our history?" Catherine asked, anger in her voice. "It was necessary," Khalith said without emotion. "But some humans fought back. Before the final containment, resistance fighters built defense systems on Earth. They designed them to wake up if the truth was ever found." Major Carter had been quiet, watching the aliens carefully. But his military training had taught him to notice small things. While they talked, he saw the alien ships outside moving into new positions. They were spreading out in a way that would allow them to attack Earth from all sides. He leaned over to Catherine. "The ships are moving into attack positions," he whispered. "I don't think they came here to talk." Catherine nodded slightly to show she understood. Louder, she asked, "What do you want from us now?" "Cooperation," Calith said. "The defense systems your ancestors built are dangerous. They must be turned off." "And if we refuse?" Catherine asked. "Then we have no choice but to ensure the containment, by other means," Calith said coldly. Major Carter noticed a small light on Calith's wrist device change from blue to red. At the same moment, he felt something change in the space station. The air seemed different. "They've taken over the station's systems," he said, standing up. "This meeting is over. We need to leave now." As the humans moved toward the door, Calith spoke again. "It is too late. The containment must be maintained. Humans must not be allowed to spread among the stars again." Back on Earth, the ancient defense systems suddenly came fully to life. Great platforms rose from under the deserts, oceans, and ice. They pointed toward space and sent powerful beams of bright energy upward. In orbit, several alien ships exploded as the beams hit them. The aliens fired back, their weapons heading toward Earth's cities. But before they could hit, the energy beams from the defense platforms formed a shield around the planet. The alien weapons exploded against it without doing any damage. On the space station, alarms sounded as the battle began. The humans ran toward their small ship, which was docked at the station. "We need to get back to Earth," Catherine said as they reached the ship. "Our people need to know what's happening." As Major Carter started the engines, Dr. Rodriguez looked out the window at the battle in space. "The war the ancients feared most has begun again," she said quietly. "And we don't even remember how to fight it." As the battle raged in space, something strange began to happen on Earth. Ordinary people everywhere started having dreams that felt like memories. Memories of stars, of ships, of worlds they had never seen. Sam Russell was a factory worker in Chicago. He had never been to college or studied anything special. But when he woke up that morning, he knew things he had never learned. He looked at his microwave and suddenly understood exactly how it worked. Not just how to use it, but how every part inside it worked too. In Seattle, college student Nicole Baker woke up speaking words in a language she had never heard before. When her roommate asked what she was saying, Nicole didn't know. But the words felt right in her mouth, as if she had always known them. All across the world, people found themselves knowing things they had never learned. An old farmer in China could suddenly understand advanced mathematics. A young boy in Brazil drew detailed pictures of star systems no human telescope had ever seen. Dr. Rodriguez, who had made it back to Earth with Director Collins and Major Carter, worked day and night with scientists around the world to understand what was happening. "It's genetic memory," she finally announced during an emergency meeting. "Information stored in our DNA, passed down for thousands of generations. The ancient defense systems aren't just weapons. They're waking up knowledge that was locked away inside us. Knowledge from before the containment," Director Collins said, understanding now. "Our ancestors didn't just leave behind defenses. They left a way to restore what was taken from us." On the front lines, Major Carter led Earth's small but growing space fleet. Using ships built with newly remembered technology, humans fought back against the custodian forces. The battle was hard. The aliens had better ships and weapons. But something strange was happening there too. "They're afraid of us," Major Carter told his pilots during a brief rest between battles. "Watch how they fight. They have better weapons. But when our ships get close to theirs, they retreat. They're scared to face us directly." Analysis of battle. Recordings showed he was right. The alien ships kept their distance. When human soldiers managed to board an alien ship, the aliens surrendered quickly, even though they outnumbered the humans. "It's like they have an instinctual fear," one soldier said, "like we're monsters from their nightmares." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Director Collins led a team to the largest of the ancient facilities. The huge structure stretched for miles, under the seafloor. At its center was a room with a single chair clearly designed for a human to sit in. "The system needs a human interface," Dr. Rodriguez said, studying the alien writing on the walls. "Someone needs to connect with it directly." "I'll do it," Catherine said. The others looked worried, but no one argued. Catherine sat in the chair. Metal bands automatically wrapped around her arms, connecting her to the system. Her eyes closed as information poured into her mind. In her mind, Catherine was somewhere else. She stood in a large room with stars visible through a window. A woman in a uniform stood before her. The woman had dark skin and serious eyes. "I am Commander Elena." "Vasquez," the woman said, "leader of the human resistance. If you're seeing this, it means the quarantine has been broken." "What happened to us?" Catherine asked. "Why did the ancients fear humans so much?" "The truth is more complicated than they claimed," Elena said. "Humans weren't just warriors. We were protectors. Many species in the ancient Federation chose human protection instead of ancient control. The so-called ancient Federation was really controlled by just 3 species who forced others to obey." Images flowed through Catherine's mind. Humans defending smaller alien races from larger ones. Human ships protecting trade routes. Alien children playing safely under human watch. The containment wasn't to protect the galaxy from us, Elena continued. It was created by the ruling species who feared losing power. Most other races opposed it, but they weren't strong enough to stop it. When Catherine opened her eyes, she understood everything. The chair released her and she stood up. "We need to tell everyone the truth," she said to her team. "Humans weren't the monsters the custodians claim. We were guardians, and many species in the galaxy might still remember that." With the new knowledge flowing through human minds, Earth launched a strong attack against the custodian fleet. Major Carter used battle plans that came from deep memory, showing the tactical thinking that once made humans such feared opponents. Dr. Rodriguez discovered something important in the data from the ancient systems. Coordinates. Locations in space where human colonies might have escaped the containment. There might be humans out there who were never sent back to Earth. She told Director Collins, "If we can find them, we might not be alone in this fight." Earth scientists and engineers, now remembering knowledge from the ancient past, quickly built a new ship. They called it the Remembrance. It was bigger and faster than any ship humans had built before. Captain Ryan Bennett, a young pilot who had shown great skill in the space battles, was chosen to lead the mission. "Find our lost brothers and sisters," Catherine told him before he left. "Bring them home." The Remembrance made a dangerous jump through space to the nearest coordinates. When they arrived, they found not just one world, but 3 planets orbiting a yellow star. And on these worlds lived humans, just like them, along with several alien species. These people called themselves the Preserved. For 50,000 years they had hidden from the custodians, keeping the truth alive and waiting for Earth to remember its past. "We knew this day would come," their leader told Captain Bennett. "We have been preparing for it." With help from the preserved worlds, Earth's forces pushed the custodians back. Many alien races, hearing that humans had returned, broke away from the custodians. They remembered the old protection pacts from long ago, agreements that humans would defend them against those who would control them. Captain Bennett led a final mission to the custodian homeworld. There he delivered humanity's message. Peace was possible, but the lies had to end. The containment was over. Humans had returned to the stars. Back on Earth, Director Collins stood with Dr. Rodriguez and Major Carter, watching representatives from dozens of worlds gather to form a new alliance. The genetic memory restoration continued, bringing both technical knowledge and wisdom from the past. "The ancients were wrong about us," Catherine said. "They feared us because we could be both the fiercest protectors and the most dangerous enemies, depending on how we were treated." Outside, the night sky seemed different now. The stars were no longer just distant lights. They were places where humans had once lived and would live again. Humanity had returned to the stars, carrying the hard lessons learned on Earth and the recovered knowledge of their stellar past. And this time they would not be forgotten. End.